there are so many reasons why I got into teaching.
One of the best things is the light bulb moment.
When you see a pupil suddenly understand something, that's really, really special.
Every child is so full of potential, and the thing that makes me proudest to be a teacher is seeing them realise what they are capable of.
I don't think any other job can give you the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search Apply to Teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
When your friends walk in and see the model of Sebastian Vettel's Red Bull F1 car that's over 2 feet long, they're gonna freak. When you tell them it's radio controlled, they're gonna love it. Then when you tell them you built it yourself, they will be blown away. Build and race a 1/7 scale model of Sebastian Vettel's championship-winning RB7 Formula One car from modelspace.com. Even if you're a novice, the instructions are clear and concise with full-color photographs and extra videos online to guide you throughout the build. And how about this for detail? The kit comes with hydraulic fluid so you can build the shock absorbers yourself. Order now and you'll get the fuel bottle and RC controller free with your kit. Go online and check out all the free gifts, the amazing detail of the model, and download a sample of the build guide. Your friends won't believe it even when they see it. Start building your RC model today. Go online to buildrb7.com. Buildrb7.com. Buildrb7.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You are listening to Gamer Tag Radio with your hosts Godfrey, Pete Rock, Paris, Pasta. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
Hey, what is up, Gamertag Radio Nation? It is Patrick, aka Paulson J, filling in for the boss man, Danny, who is receiving an award down right now in Fort Worth, Texas, the Academy of Podcaster Awards, getting his much-deserved Hall of Fame award. We'll play his acceptance speech a little bit later in the show. But for now, we're going to 3-man it. I got on my right my good buddy Paris. How you doing, Paris?
Guardian down. Let's wipe. We got to wipe. Inside joke. No, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Awesome. And on my left, I got my good friend Pete. How you doing, Pete?
I'm down. Help!
We're gonna revive you, man. We're good at this. We're quick at the comeback. But yeah, it's a pretty cool week. We're gonna play a little bit differently here. But yeah, big news. Windows 10 finally came out. A lot of people have gotten their hands on it. I know you two especially have both tried it out. I'm stuck in the Stone Age. I'm rocking the Windows 7 on the old 2007 laptop. So I'm gonna step back for a second. And Pete and Paris, what are your impressions of Windows 10 so far after using it?
I guess I'll go first and just say that I've been using Windows 10 now for a few weeks at work, in a VM environment just to test it out. So I was already familiar with the layout of everything. But I jokingly was saying on the 29th when it came out in our GTR chat that anybody who would upgrade to it on their main machine is crazy and that I'm waiting until October. But, as the day was going on, I was seeing various feedback about it. I saw some good, saw some bad. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do it on my main machine. And what I did was I created an image of my current Windows 7 setup, just in case. And I went ahead and did the upgrade. And my plan was to do the upgrade. And as soon as the upgrade was done, I was then going to download the ISO and just do a complete clean install and go from there. But to my pleasant surprise, I did that upgrade. Took about, once it was downloaded, the actual upgrade process after a few reboots took about 20 minutes. And then I was logged into Windows 10, downloaded a few additional updates, like NVIDIA needed an update for my 980 card for the driver. But after that, everything was solid. All the shortcuts and settings that I had in Windows 7 carried right over into Windows 10. Everything was smooth as butter, man. I can't complain at all. And then just on a side note, I'd never tried the Xbox app. So there's a little quirk with that when I first installed it, in that it had the older version, which could not see my Xbox One. And I was watching videos and couldn't figure it out. And then I was talking to some people on Twitter, and they recommended that I go to the Windows Store and just re-download it, which that fixed the problem because I grabbed the newer version of it. And then once I got my Xbox One connected, the game streaming and everything worked just fine. No complaints with it at all. I would say a minor complaint. I can definitely tell that the resolution when I was streaming or in the Blind Forest and I did Master Chief Collection, that the resolution was a little bit less than what it was if I were to actually be playing it on the TV out in the family room. I don't want to necessarily say 720p, but it definitely wasn't 1080p. It was somewhere in the middle. But as far as just being responsive and the frame rate and everything, it was fine. No issues at all.
Good, so no noticeable frame rate drops, nothing out of the ordinary besides, again, as you said, just a little bit of resolution.
No.
Downgrade.
And I would say, just to add on to that, because I also, Steam, I've done some game streaming with Steam. That does seem to be slightly better because I am truly getting 1080p and I am getting a solid 60 frames per second. Whereas the frames per second seem fine, but like I said, the resolution definitely was not 1080p. But, it just came out. It just launched. So I give them the benefit of the doubt on that. And the fact that Phil Spencer came out with The Verge and also mentioned that they're going to do streaming the other way from PC to Xbox One, I'm happy with it. Definitely. I liked it. Overall, my impressions of Windows 10 just in these last couple of days have definitely been positive. And again, their upgrade process, probably the smoothest, easiest upgrade I've ever done.
I'd probably say the same thing, and that's across multiple operating systems. I mean, I literally was sitting at work, remoted into my desktop, and I was like, yep, after hearing everybody else having like good problem, I reached out to Paris to find out what his experience was like. He was like, 20, 30 minutes, it was done. I was like, okay, I trust Paris on this one. Hit go, left my desk, went home, and 20 minutes later, I was done as well. All I had to do is upgrade the graphics driver for my 970, and boom, I was 100% up and running on Windows 10. Still trying to get used to the whole layout because it's kind of like Windows 7 on steroids with like some. I'd probably say it's more like Windows 7 with a flavor of Yosemite from Apple, with some of the look and feel things. The new alternate desktop modes that you could do, which was some of the features that were available already on Linux and Ubuntu and stuff like that. Still getting used to the whole tiles and apps thing. Like Paris said, I tried to do the Xbox app. I'm on the current one, but for some reason I can't get it to connect to my Xbox. So I guess that's one of the minor things that I've got to deal with on day one of installs of my operating system. But besides that, I mean, kudos to Microsoft. They did a bang up job. I want to do the whole play from my desktop thing. So I want to see how that works. I'm anxious to see that. So I'll be checking that out later today. But 2 thumbs up. I recommend anybody that's got Microsoft Windows 7 or 8.1 to go ahead and do it. I mean, it's almost flawless.
Yeah, and I'll add a couple more things in there, but before I forget, for some reason I think I mentioned these things in a previous life. I don't know why I'm thinking that. But on the gaming side, just on Windows 10 itself, Steam, no problems. Doing the GOG, the Galaxy client, that's where I play Witcher 3 on. No issues with Witcher 3. Origin seemed to be fine. I mean, just overall gaming-wise, yeah, fine. Brought all my saves over, no issues with that. So, like I said, for now, I'm satisfied. Now, I'm a Linux guy, so I don't use Windows as my day-to-day other than to play games. So from a gaming standpoint, and this is a gaming podcast, no issues with Windows 10. I think it's fine.
Oh, sweet. It gets me excited because, again, this isn't my forte. I'll probably wait on 10 for my PC for a while until I get a new computer. But I am excited for the integration with Xbox One later this year because I think that Xbox One desperately needs a new, fresher update, and more importantly, a faster dashboard to stream all of these things. And again, as Paris mentioned during his little impressions of Windows 10, the biggest news for me was Phil Spencer saying, not confirming, basically saying we do want to make, in the future, we want to have PC game streaming to Xbox One. They said, technically speaking, they're not sure how I'm going to do it yet. It's going to be a challenge. He admits it, but it is something they want to do. And that gets me excited, but I'm also in the fence, is that a 4 to 5 year down the road kind of thing? Or are we going to talk next year or late next year? I'm just curious, how seriously they're taking this because, again, they just rolled out Windows 10. They're putting it on Xbox One. I don't know how much work they're putting in to get them working on day one, but I'm curious because this would be a huge selling feature for the Xbox One, in my opinion, that would give it an edge over PS4. I'm just curious of when we'll hear more information about it. Maybe E3 next year? Not sure. But moving forward, take a quick break real fast, and I want to play you guys Danny's Hall of Fame acceptance speech that he is currently doing as a recording down in Fort Worth, Texas, at the Academy of Podcasters Awards. As I said, he was giving the Hall of Fame award. He totally deserves it. So let's play his acceptance speech right now, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, don't hold it, man. Let it go, baby.
Here's the thing. I want to say this very quick. I've been doing this internet radio thing since 2001, and then our podcast in 2005. And I did it for fun. I wasn't thinking about business, no download numbers, none of that stuff. So eventually, because of the support of our community, we got like huge numbers, and they always will attend our events too. And so shout out to my community. They're right there in the front. Our listeners. I invited them to come here because I want them to. They've always been part of our journey. So thank you for supporting me. So. All right. So I'd like to thank the Academy. Also, my parents. I have to say a quick story. The Miami Herald interviewed me about the Podcast Hall of Fame and our podcast. And my father, he went to the store to get the newspaper and everything. And he called me crying and stuff, right? And he was like, I don't know what you do. Very proud of you. Also, I really want to give a big, huge shout out to Jennifer. I love my life. She's been there since day one. I used to record the built-in mic on my computer, and she got to see the struggle with my audio quality, and she got me my first podcast studios, my little mics and everything, the mixer. So thanks, Jen, for supporting me. Also, shout out to my crew, P-Rock, Paris, Patrick. We're like Voltron, always work together. So thanks for being there since day one. Also, my past staff members has been there supporting me. Anna, my brother, Nano, today's his birthday, so shout out to him. Angel, Nick, JBB, Drea, Mandy, Saad, David, Jonathan, Trex, and everybody else, man. So thanks. Also, shout out to Play for believing in us and part of CBS Radio. Thanks for supporting us. Also, like I said, my community. Shout out to you guys. Podcasters, especially the new podcasters. Like I feel that there's a lot that are stuck with the whole trend stuff. Don't worry about that. Be yourself. Be unique. Because the more podcasters are doing better than me, I want you to be better than me. That's going to help the space. So please be original, be unique, and continue work. And please don't worry about iTunes. It's front page. It's great. It's cool if not, continue having fun. Also, very quick, I would like to dedicate this to a friend of ours that she contacted us 24 hours right after our first episode got released back in 2005. Her name is Krista Trixie. Right now she's battling cancer, and this is for you, right?
Danny, that was very, very good. You totally deserve that. That was good, man. That made me feel good to be a podcaster. Made me happy to just say that I'm a good friend, a coworker of yours, and I just can't wait to continue working with you into the future. Congratulations. Anything you guys want to say real fast or move on?
No, again, just congrats to Danny. Danny, it's a huge accomplishment. to go into the Hall of Fame, and props to him. I mean, as I'm sure he would say, I mean, this award is for all of us. It just, we've been doing this for years at this point. It's been a passion of ours. It's been a bigger passion for him, I would say, because I've said it a million times. I would not even be podcasting if it was not for him. So just congratulations. And I guess Peter doesn't care.
No, he's just dead on the inside.
There's nothing else really. I mean, I think we've touched on this a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Just props to Danny and everybody else that's been a part of this whole GTR experience and movement. So, this is for everybody, from everybody. Holler at your boy. Go, Danny.
Shout out to you, Danny.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
As most people can attest, shaving is a hassle. The last thing we need in our busy lives is to realize we're out of blades at the last minute. With a Harrys.com subscription, you no longer have that problem, as they take the guesswork out of shaving by sending you high-quality blades right to your door. You're not only saving time, you're also saving money by not having to buy lesser quality blades for your money. This is your mug, your moneymaker. Why take a hatchet to the face unless you're into that sort of thing? With a Harrys.com subscription, you get razors sent directly to your door for as little as $3 a month, a free handle, and they time the shipments using science so you're never out of razors. You can also change or cancel the plan at any time if you decide to go lumberjack for a bit. So do yourself a favor. Start your Harry's monthly subscription and never worry about buying blades again. And as a special offer for new customers, get your free razor and save $5 off with your first subscription with the code GTR at checkout. That's Harrys.com. Use the code GTR and start shaving better today.
786-2737-GTR.
Remember, you can check us out at gamertagradio.com. You can follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. If you have something to say to us, please, we welcome your feedback. You can send us a voicemail at 786-273-7GTR. That's 786-273-7GTR. Or send us an email if you're shy, fanmail at gamertagradio.com. That's fanmail at gamertagradio.com. We will read some of our fan mail later on in the show, as we always do. Always look forward to doing that. But moving forward, we're going to go back a little bit. We're going to talk about some QuakeCon news that came out of Texas last weekend. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last weekend because we literally recorded right before it happened. But the biggest news for me out of QuakeCon was the fact that the Fallout 4 mod tool set, the creation kit, if you will not be available at launch, let alone available at all in 2015. It is something they're going to start working on after the game is completed, shipped out the door, and it'll be a 2016 feature. I honestly expected this to be at launch. I don't know why I did. I guess I was just buying into the hype of it. I'm curious. I know both of you guys, maybe you're going to play Fallout 4 on the PC. I'm kind of leaning more towards Xbox One right now. But do you guys think this changes anything for Xbox One sales by not having that mod support available day one to make that decision between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One?
No, I don't think it changes anything for the simple fact I'm going to play it on PC anyways. Mm-hmm. So whenever the mods come, that'll be fine with me. But if you weren't getting it on PC or had no qualms of getting it on PC and you were getting it on console, at some point in the future, mods is coming to Xbox One. So if that was important to you, there's no reason to not still get it on Xbox One. You know what I mean? If mods is not important to you and you just got to play it on PlayStation 4, then you were probably going to do that anyways.
Okay. Do you guys think there's any chance that PlayStation is working on some deal behind closed doors to have mod support maybe in 2016 after Xbox launches? Or do you guys think that Microsoft truly paid money under the table for this to be a lockdown on Xbox?
Well, I had a joke in a previous life about Skolas, so I'm not going to do that joke this time. So I'm just going to simply say that, yeah, I believe Microsoft and Bethesda exchanged some coin to lock this down to be exclusive on Xbox One. Because if it wasn't, Microsoft would not be letting everybody know that this is the only console that you could be playing it on. Or mods, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, I don't think this is a big deal for a lot of people because we're all kind of just want to play the game and get through it first. I guess I'll be curious what will be the delay between when the PC mods are available and when the Xbox mods are available. For some reason, I just can't see this being available the same day because I assume there is some pretty significant certification process this stuff has to go through to even get to consumers. Because, again, there's a lot of crazy mods out there made by a lot of really talented people, but all of them would be considered family-friendly, even for a mature-rated game like Fallout, to be on consoles. So I'm just curious what the delay will be between, when you get mods, Paris, and when I get them later on.
I would say probably minimum 30 days on anything. And you gotta remember, and I'll just go back and say this again. If you have a PC and you have because you can get these games dirt cheap right now. Yeah. Pick up Fallout New Vegas, which I've said in the past is probably one of my favorite RPGs ever. The
writing is phenomenal.
Yeah,
love that game.
Yeah, but Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, Skyrim, just the mod support from the mod community on the PC side is fantastic. So as a console only gamer, you should be excited to see some of this content finally coming to the console now. So I would definitely be excited to see that. And you got to think there's so many mods and so many things that you can get out there. Most likely what'll be coming to Xbox One will simply be the best of the best. So you're going to see what is the community gravitating to on the PC side. What are the most downloaded mods? What are the ones everyone's excited about? What is everyone talking about? Those are the ones that you'll probably see, like you said, Paulson, get certified and then come over to the console. All the junk stuff, the fluff, the half-ass stuff that you also see out there in the mod community, I doubt any of that makes it to the console. They're just going to have the best of the best. So minimum 30 days, probably the fact that it needs to be vetted by the community first, I would say even more, maybe 60 to 90 days before you see any of this stuff come on the console side.
Not a deal breaker. I'm just curious to know what their release schedule will be. But again, I don't see myself stopping playing the vanilla version game, if you will, anytime soon, because I assume there's hundreds of hours already invested in the game. But again, I have no problem giving I'm saying the real modders, but the mods, the people who have the real talent out there that really put heart and souls and make brand new experiences out of this. I have no problem giving them all the time they need to make, new areas, new stories, all that ambitious stuff. Because again, like you said, I don't really care for having prettier grass or, more HD. I know what I'm talking about. But the point is, looking forward to the game. It's going to be fun. Let's change gears real fast. Let's hop over and give the Emerald some shine because Danny isn't here. And I think it's only appropriate. But let's talk about Halo 5.
Well, isn't that every week, though? Because he is here? Should we be talking PC and Destiny?
Yes.
I was getting to that. I was going to say, we do have our Destiny Talk Radio segmented to the side at the end. We'll get to that because, that's our thing. Danny doesn't understand that. He never will. But let's talk Halo because it is the big game, the big AAA exclusive for Xbox coming later this year. And a lot of the people are still very divisive on their opinion of it. So what came out a couple of days ago was basically the first in a series of new developer blogs on the Halo Waypoint site detailing the development process of Halo 5. And the first one they decided to put out was trying to break down what the cooperative campaign experience is going to be like in Halo 5 Guardians. As we've griped in the past, there's no more split screen in Halo 5. But this article attempts to give some reasoning of why they made the hard decision to do that. So to break it down, when you're playing Halo 5, even by yourself, you're always going to have your 3 AI teammates with you, depending if you're playing as Master Chief or Agent Locke. They each have a little team of 3, and they're all special individual people. They're not supposed to be clones of each other. They play the same, but they all have unique little abilities and gadgets unique to them between the fire teams. But what they were trying to go for is essentially just, a light Republic commando here. You have the ability to send squad commands. You can tell them to revive each other. You can tell them to attack, flank, all that good stuff. Now, the question is, the way they phrase this is they wanted to reinvent the Halo sandbox, which is what Halo is known for. Those large open play spaces that allow you to kind of fight how you want. Their reasoning for taking out split screen is because it's a combination of, they say they see 60 FPS is integral to the game, but because of the way of the play space is designed and the fact that it always has to have the 3 Spartans on your team, human or not, they simply cannot replicate this engine twice to run for split screen. So I know you guys had a chance to look over the article about this. Do you guys think they gave enough justification here to say basically, yes, this was a core gameplay feature, but we think, as they, in their words, to move the future of Halo forward, we had to make some tough decisions, and moving split screen was one of them. Do you guys think that was justified? Are you more excited for this now?
I don't know if that's fundamental to gameplay, though.
That's the thing I'm unsure about. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a programmer. I can't speak on these things I'm ignorant about. But for me, when I see a 60 FPS game and I have split screen, I expect 30 FPS for each screen. And that doesn't bother me. But they're making it sound like that would break the core of the game by removing the 60 FPS. Do you guys believe that, or do you think that's all just marketing speak at this point?
I think it's market speak, because you've got a game that pretty much predicated its co-op experience on split screen, the ability to go for years to friends' houses and have 3 or 4 people, up on a TV. Granted, as our experiences have shown, we've got much bigger TVs than we did 5-10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But that core experience of being able to sit on your couch with 3 of your friends and running through either a co-op experience or what have you, or playing local LAN multiplayer, those were so integral to the foundation and growing Halo to the franchise that it is today. And to now rip it out and then to throw the excuse of, we're doing this to make, to further the story. It sounds like a weak attempt to legitimize or justify why they're doing it. I don't think, from my personal experience, that they should have done that. I mean, you're taking away the core concept and the core thing that everybody assimilates Halo to. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do now? Now you're going to force everybody to go to LAN style, everybody bring an Xbox and a TV, or, we're only going to meet online?
Yeah.
Couple things on this. First and foremost, obviously, I don't have enough real friends because I've never done split screen co-op in my life on Halo.
Oh, no.
I mean, legitimately, I never have. Secondly, I do believe them when they say that they can't pull it off properly and they don't want to break the experience because they have going with 60 FPS and all that stuff. So I believe them because they obviously understand how important split screens co-op is to the core fan base of Halo. So they wouldn't take it out if they had no choice but to do so. You know what I mean? So I actually do believe them when they say that. Now, I will say on a third note, and I've been saying this, you guys know, I've been saying this since E3 when we were sitting in that press conference. I am not feeling this at all. I'm just not feeling the direction that they're taking the campaign with the controlled AI and everything. I don't know. To me, it's no longer Halo. Halo was about me being Master Chief and saving the freaking universe, not me and 3 of my buddies saving the universe. I don't know. I just, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe when I play it, I will absolutely love it and get everything that they're trying to do. Because, look, the drop-in, drop-out co-op stuff, fantastic. I love the technology behind what they're doing with the AI and everything. But I think just the core, why I'm a Halo fan, this breaks that immersion for me.
I gotta agree. I don't think you're crazy, Paris. Because for me, the punch in the gut from this article was they're introducing a revive mechanic. And that just seems to go so against the whole concept of Halo, which was to throw yourself at the enemy and, either they were going to die or you were going to die because someone was going to die regardless. And now you just kind of go into a down state and your AI teammates can revive you. Or they go in a down state and you can revive them or they can revive each other. To me, that just sounds like this game is going to be really, really easy. And even though they went out with their way to say, we design new animations for the enemies to deal with 4 Spartans, I don't think you understand the killing power of 4 human-controlled Spartans. I mean, really, you would all have to be just kind of okay at the game, but you get 4 competent shooter players.
You're playing on Legendary.
You're not gonna have a challenge. You're playing on Legendary.
Yeah, you have to play on Legendary.
Still make me go because I 2-playered Legendary mode with people, and I sing soloed in all the games as well. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume they are truly making the game more difficult, but I am really concerned that, like you said, this isn't going to feel like Halo. This is going to feel like a cakewalk, because even if I'm by myself, if I go down, I got 3 other Spartans ready to pick me up immediately. So where's the penalty for death? Where is the, well, how are you learning anything? You know, that's what Halo was. You learn from trial and experience. And now if you have 3 buddies always with you, you know, and God forbid if they're human, you're just going to be unstoppable. So that's kind of my holdup is, like you said, I don't think it's going to feel like the Halo we expect or we want, but I'm going to be open-minded because, again, I already have the Xbox One. I feel like I'm kind of committed to play the game because it's going to have the online co-op. I can play with you guys. I can play with our listeners and my other friends' Xbox Ones. That's going to be fun, but I'm just worried about the future of Halo if this is the way we're going.
Now, I want to throw this in there, too, and send the hate mail directly to me, fanmail@gamertagradio.com. I'm going to mention the D word here, Destiny. Are these changes in the way that they're trying to take Halo in response to what Bungie's building? I can't help but think that because...
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I can't say absolutely because obviously we don't know what's going on at 343 fundamentally. But, and I think we may have mentioned this or talked about this on the last time we had Destiny Talk Radio on GTR, but the similarities between the two, besides the fact that obviously Halo created, Bungie created Halo, and that's, that was their vision. But I mean, you've got multi races, you've got, the different classes of weapons, and you've got the revive mechanic, and everybody's got a perk or a skill, or, that could be alluded to, with, the arc or void or so. There's too many similarities now that it just seems that they're just trying to make after seeing the popularity of Destiny, they're trying to make Halo kind of like Destiny, kind of like a Destiny alternative for people who, like Danny, who didn't succeed well and rage quit on the raid. I had to throw him under the bus there. I had to. It lined up too well.
Well, now to be fair, it obviously 343 had Halo 5 in development before Destiny came out. So I'm not saying that they just threw everything they were doing in the trash and started over and we're just going to build a Destiny clone. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is with the popularity of things like Borderlands and obviously now Destiny and all that, it seems that they're taking the Halo franchise into being this shared experience now, which I don't want Halo to be a shared experience at the core campaign. And when I say that is, Halo 3 is a classic example of this. There was 4-player co-op in there. Me and my buddies, we played it all the time, do it on Legendary. It was a blast, but the story still revolved centrally around Master Chief, and it was about Master Chief. So if my buddies were not around and I played by myself, it was about Master Chief. But what they're doing now is if my buddies are not around, it's still about Locke and his squad and Master Chief and his squad. And now I have AI characters also working with me. I guess what I'm saying is I don't want AI characters with me in a Halo game. I think that's what it boils down to. If I want to pick up and play Halo, I want it to be Master Chief going out there chewing bubblegum and kicking ass, And he's all out of bubblegum. So,
do you see it as maybe like them just bits and pieces of everything else? Like, okay, we're going to put a little bit of Destiny here. We're going to pull a little bit of Borderlands, and we're going to have teams that you can control. So we're going to bring a little bit of XCOM over here.
Yeah.
I almost see that now. Like I'm starting to get a bigger, clearer vision, and that scares me.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. When we were at the Microsoft press conference and they had that demo up there, I don't know if you were sitting next to me or not. I did not cheer at the end of it. Everybody was going crazy. I'm like, this is not what I want. Now, again, on the multiplayer side, the Warzone stuff, loved it. I think the multiplayer I'm going to be fine with. I just, for the first time in my Halo fandom, I am not excited for a campaign. And for me personally, that sucks.
Yeah.
I can't argue that.
We'll have to wait and see, but I hope that the game will not be ridiculously easy for us. I don't know. There's a lot of things we can talk about, but again, Halo is still very much in development. We will see more of it later this year, I'm sure, before the release date. But let's move forward a little bit, take a quick break.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
DraftKings, everybody. Golf's final major starts next week, and DraftKings is celebrating by giving away $3.3 million in prizes and crowning the year's last fantasy golf millionaire. DraftKings.com is America's favorite one-week fantasy golf site where you could win huge prizes every tournament. Just pick 6 golfers, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. Anybody can do this. You do not have to be Tiger Woods. You don't have to be Pete. You don't have to be Poston. Even Danny can win this $1 million prize. That's how good DraftKings is. So whether you love the game or you just want to try a new fantasy sport, you've never experienced golf like this, with every long drive and every made putt bringing you closer to a $1 million payday. You hear that, Danny? You can get this $1 million payday. Sports fans like us have been winning big all year at DraftKings.com, whether it's been NBA, whether it's been Major League Baseball, and now here we are with the PGA, including the first 3 fantasy golf millionaires. You could be next. Danny, you hear that? You could be next. The event begins with the tournament, so choose your golfers before next Thursday's tee-off for your last crack at winning $1 million playing fantasy golf at DraftKings this year. Hurry to DraftKings.com and use our promo code GamerTag to play for free for a shot to become a millionaire. Enter that promo code GamerTag now at DraftKings.com. That is DraftKings.com. One more time, that is DraftKings.com.
This is Gamer Tag Radio. Voicemail 786-2737-GTR.
All right, and we are back, guys. A great discussion we had. Shout out Danny once again. We miss you. Not really. Moving on, Gamescom next week. Big news, kind of the big event in Europe going on in Cologne, Germany. Going to have some pretty big stuff here. Namely, we're going to see the rest of Microsoft's big IPs like Scalebound and Crackdown, Quantum Break. But what are you guys most excited to see at Gamescom? There's a lot of things we're going to talk about. Hopefully, we'll hear about some new stuff as well. But from the things that we know about, what has got y'all interested in Gamescom? What do y'all expect to see, and what do you want to see?
I want to see more on Overwatch. I've kind of had this boner for this game.
It's very pretty, isn't it? Pixar movie.
Didn't need that visual, Pete.
No, but I've been really excited about this game. I'd probably say over the last 6 months, especially with my recent spate going into like Evolve, doing the alpha for Gigantic. Being a fan of those type of arena type shooters now. This is more like over the last 6 to 8 months. And ever since that game was announced by Blizzard, I wanted to see something at E3, but unfortunately Activision wasn't showing anything. All they had was the big poster up on the wall when we went up there, to the booth, and it was kind of like, damn it, this is what I didn't see. And I think I mentioned this as we were leading out of E3 on one of the last shows there. But yeah, I want to see this. They keep adding more characters and expanding on the story and all the different characters and all the arenas, and I want more. And hopefully this is one of the games that they're going to highlight, since they threw everything else that they had between Taken King and everything else over at E3. So that's what I want.
Yeah, looks like a lot of potential.
I would say for me, it's nothing specific. It's the unknown. If you remember last year at Gamescom, Microsoft dropped Tomb Raider on us, which we were not expecting with the whole exclusive deal. Mm-hmm. I'm speaking specifically of Microsoft here. I'm really curious to see what they got up their sleeves, because they made it very known that E3 was just a taste and that more was coming at Gamescom. And we know about Crackdown. We know they'll probably show the Remedy game. Gosh darn it, Quantum Break. They'll show stuff like that. They'll probably talk a little more about Gears, things like that. That's fine. But what aren't they telling us? That's what I want to know. See, I love it that Microsoft is the underdog, and that they have been here the last couple of years, because they're fighting and clawing to get that market share. So they're going all out. And we're the ones that get the benefit from that. And the fact that Sony is not doing anything at Gamescom, right? They're not. They have a presence there, but they're not doing a press conference, right?
Yeah, it's not a major presence.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I think we know why, because they ain't got nothing to show. But
third party.
But yeah, Microsoft. I'm just very curious to see what Microsoft has up their sleeves, because I guarantee you it's something that we're just not expecting.
I look forward to it as well. Again, besides the big three we already mentioned, like you said, I'm really hoping that I'm about to get really excited to be an Xbox One owner by next weekend when we record. For me, kind of the standout here was getting more news on Final Fantasy 15, which was noticeably absent from E3. I really hope that is very much still on development track, because I love the demo that came out earlier this year with the other Type 0 HD Final Fantasy game. I love the direction they're going with it. It seems like an easy sell because it's just easy enough for anyone to pick up, but there's still that RPG depth to it, not to mention it's gorgeous and it's a breath of fresh air from the turn-based system they have been doing a long time now. I'm very much curious to see more about 15. I'd love if we get a date out of them. Somehow I doubt that, because it seems to never stop being in development. But the other thing I'm really interested in, and they literally just confirmed this exists the other day, is Mafia 3. 2K has announced to the world, just all they've given us is a little tiny picture on Twitter saying Mafia 3 exists. We will tell you more at Gamescom. That gets me really excited, because I really, really liked the last two Mafia games a lot, because they were something very different from the Grand Theft Auto, the Saints Row established things. They went for that time period piece, that realism in its own setting. So we've only seen, again, that little picture. It shows what looks like maybe the Florida Everglades, maybe somewhere else. You have some alligators. You got 4 people standing in front of a car. I assume someone's about to get whacked or something. What do you guys think Mafia 3 is going to be? Or, what do you want out of it compared to the last one?
Well, from what I remember, this was earlier in the year, maybe at the end of last year, the guy who played the main character, Vito, kind of did like a Twitter tease talking about they might have some news soon. Yeah. And so that always sat in the back of our head. And obviously we've got a personal love with, Mafia 2 and the 2K series, or the 2K, because we did do the community party a couple of years ago for the launch in New York, Miami. So, there's some serious love, on our side. That being said, is there more that can be done? I mean, that ending was kind of epic.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, I don't know. For me, for video games, there's never too much of a good thing until you ruin it. And I just kind of feel like for something of this scale, because, Mafia is not exactly, a AAA title to a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people I talked to played Mafia 2 and hated it because it was not GTA, because the cars were slow and clunky and everything felt, in my words, the world was designed for the story. The world wasn't designed for you. And I like that. And a lot of people really disagree with me on that one, because they felt the world was large, empty, and boring. But I liked how it drove the plot forward. So for me, I feel like there's still a lot they can do. I'm going to throw it back to a reference to the second Godfather game that came out years ago, which was a reinvention of the original one, but placing it in Miami in the 60s. I love the vibe. Love what they did with that. If we're going to, and I'm assuming this is the Florida Everglades, I could be totally wrong here, but if we're going for that motif, and hopefully it is that early 60s vibe, I think there is a plethora of interesting things they can do with that time period, because it's kind of, not that many people know about that, especially because it is, the mob life, the Casa Nostra. You're not supposed to know about this kind of stuff. So they kind of have the freedom, if you will, to come up with whatever they want and keep it in the, the somewhat laws of, realism, but I like that they can do what they want. And more importantly for me, it's the world that they craft. Because, again, we know the story's going to be great. That's some of the best voice actors I've ever seen assembled in a game. I assume they'll get the whole team back together. Or it could be a brand new set of characters. We don't know. But there's a lot of possibilities for me here, because, we've seen such a large breadth of open world games recently.
No, my concern is that 2K Czech isn't going to be doing Mafia 3 because they were shut down earlier this year. So I know that from what we, obviously we're a little bit closer than the public is, but the development team was split up. Some went to one of the other studios, one went to California, some went to California. A new studio opened up called Hangar 13. I guess as we get closer, we get more information. Hopefully at Gamescom, we'll find out who and where the game is being done. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see who or what goes, what studio is doing it, and that way you can base, okay, what has that studio done before, and is, I don't know. I have hopes for it, and I hope it does as well or exceeds what Mafia 2 did, because me personally, I think it was a success because it was a really good game. It'll just be, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so for me, that's my biggest thing I'm looking forward to for Gamescom next week, is because, again, we know nothing other than it exists, and I've loved the past 2 games. So for me, I've already biased towards liking it. But as you said, new developer, we don't know what they're going to do. We don't no idea what their ambition is. But I wish them the best of luck. It's a great showing for them. But yeah, Gamescom, can't wait. We'll have a whole episode next week to talk about all the crazy stuff that's going to happen there. I'm sure no doubt of content.
You never asked me about Mafia 3.
Oh, Paris, what do you think about Mafia 3? I'm sorry.
I've never played the Mafia series, so continue. Sorry. Yeah, I really haven't. I never played the first one or the second one.
Oh, man. All right. Well, they're worth playing. First one's really hard to go back to, but, it's supposed to be realistic, if you will, with very slow 30-mile-per-hour cars that can't go uphill. But it was a different time period. Fun game. Moving forward, another big announcement came, game-wise. Dragon Quest XI. It finally exists. It has been announced in Japan at a little press conference they had the other day. It's going to be for PlayStation 4, 3DS, and the Nintendo NX, making these the first official game that's announced that is confirmed for the NX system, which we still have no idea what it is, because Nintendo is very, very tight-lipped on this, as they should be, until they wanted to show more information about it. So personally for me, I've never really played a Dragon Quest game. I know that's heresy to RPG fans out there, but it never caught me at the right time. I respect the series. I know it's a very, very big deal in Japan, which is still even an understatement. So they're going to go ballistic at this news. But I'm happy for fans, because the last 2 Dragon Quest games have been, one has been a DS handheld game with mostly multiplayer functions, and 10 was an MMO on the Wii and a couple other platforms, the 3DS. So it's nice that they're going back to, in their words, this is going to be an offline single-player only RPG, kind of like Dragon Quest VIII was, which is kind of the Final Fantasy VII of that series, if you will, the much beloved iteration. Have you guys had any experience with Dragon Quest before?
Nah, until you mentioned it and brought it up earlier today. Zero. My question is, and I'll probably answer it when I say it. So they announced it for PS4, 3DS, and Nintendo NX. Obviously, they omitted the Microsoft branding on that. Probably because they just started selling that in China, but it's traditionally an Eastern type console or an Eastern type title that probably that may or may not have success here. Just because it's going on PlayStation 4, does that mean it's automatically going to be available here in the States?
No, this is the unknown. And when they were reached out for comment, they said they have no concrete plans at this time, which is really just PR speak for we're probably working on it. I think, as other people have pointed out on the internet, if they really just wanted the Japanese market only, they would have stuck with just the 3DS and the Nintendo NX. They didn't have to do the PS4 because consoles aren't as big of a deal in Japan as they are in Europe and America. So I think that almost guarantees it will see Western release, not only because people are starved for an actual Dragon Quest game, because the last 2 ones are really, you had to be open-minded to like them as a Dragon Quest fan. I definitely think we'll get an announcement, I would say, at maybe E3 of a Western release. Obviously, it'll come out in Japan way before we get it. That's just the way it works. But I don't see them not bringing it, because, the PS4 gameplay I've seen, it's very beautiful. It's still that traditional Akira Toriyama art style with a new gameplay engine, shadows, lighting, the grass looks fantastic, all the animations look crisp and good. I just think it'd be a waste to not bring this to the States. Because, again, yes, the audience is small over here compared to Japan, but they're very hardcore and they're very supportive. And these are the kind of people that would pre-order the special edition day one, buy it, never sell it, keep it, collector's item kind of stuff.
Is that because JRPGs won't sell here in the States?
I think it's just because we really don't have the large amount of them that we had in previous generations, because we're still in that transitionary period with next-gen consoles of they're still just trying to get them into people's hands and then make the games for them. And in my opinion, Dragon Quest is still pretty low in the totem of a must-own game. Obviously, people out there will disagree with me and say, no, I'd buy a PS4 for Dragon Quest XI. I love it that much. And that's great. But I just think overall, it's not that Final Fantasy level marketability like that we have here in the States compared to Japan.
Right.
Obviously, Dragon Quest is very, very big over there. I'll be curious to see, but I think it would still be successful just because there just aren't enough of these kinds of games anymore, especially made by, AAA Japanese RPG developers, people that makes Dragon Quest. So I think we'll get it. It's just a matter of when we'll get it and when we hear more information about it. But for me, the key was here, I want to know more about the Nintendo NX version, because to me, this is a game I would buy for the NX, because already I kind of wanted NX just because the mystery of it. What could it be? Are we going to get Zelda on this kind of stuff? So that to me has got all my interest. For now, unfortunately, I think Nintendo has kind of killed the Wii U in my eyes by talking about the next stuff already. I don't mind waiting and seeing, but I'll be very curious to hear information about Nintendo's NX system and the support for the games. But it's nice to go ahead and get an announcement saying that 11 will be on the NX. And they also confirmed that Dragon Quest X, the previous one, will be on the NX as well in some version because it's an MMO type game. But we will see.
When your friends walk in and see the model of Sebastian Vettel's Red Bull F1 car that's over 2 feet long, they're gonna freak. When you tell them it's radio controlled, they're gonna love it. Then when you tell them you built it yourself, they will be blown away. Build and race a 1/7 scale model of Sebastian Vettel's championship-winning RB7 Formula One car from modelspace.com. Even if you're a novice, the instructions are clear and concise with full-color photographs and extra videos online to guide you throughout the build. And how about this for detail? The kit comes with hydraulic fluid so you can build the shock absorbers yourself. Order now and you'll get the fuel bottle and RC controller free with your kit. Go online and check out all the free gifts, the amazing detail of the model, and download a sample of the build guide. Your friends won't believe it even when they see it. Start building your RC model today. Go online to buildrb7.com. Buildrb7.com. Buildrb7.com.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio.
So, I think that pretty much wraps up our topics for this week. I think it is time for some good old-fashioned GTR fan mail. What do you guys think?
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Fan mail. All right, this is probably something that Paris can get involved in. All right, so first email we have is from Ed, a.k.a. Turf Tyrant from North Carolina. What is holding X1 sales back compared to the PS4? They have a better app list, TV integration, monthly updates, closed the gap in graphical differences, and now have a better price. With the release of Windows 10, they now have a game streaming to PC, a new dashboard with Cortana, and have announced a possibility of PC streaming to Xbox along with mouse and keyboard support. Paris?
Oh, I thought there was more. That's a pretty easy answer. What's holding them back? Marketing and just the horrible message that the Xbox One had at its launch. They're still suffering from it. That's why I was saying previously that, them being in second place right now is great for gamers because all these features that you are talking about right now, we're getting them as a direct result of Microsoft having to play catch up to try and catch what Sony's currently doing right now. I think a number just came out. It didn't. PlayStation 4 isn't at 24 million now or something crazy like that. Mm-hmm. It's already outsold the Xbox 360 and the GameCube. And the Xbox. And did I say the 360? Yeah, whatever I said. GameCube and Xbox in their lifetimes is what I meant to say.
That's insane.
It's insane. Here's the funny thing about the Xbox One, though. Sales-wise, it's doing just fine.
It's doing better than the 360 as well, or better than the 360.
Yeah, they're just not beating Sony. That's all it really comes down to. Which, again, as a gamer, we shouldn't care because if you like Xbox and you like Xbox games, you're about to get a ton of them here in the next 18 months. So just be happy. Be happy with what you got. Don't worry about what Sony's doing because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're getting great games on the Xbox One now. We're getting great features on the Xbox One, and that's all that should matter to you as a gamer. And look, if you want to expand beyond an Xbox One, go pick up a PlayStation 4. I play on my PlayStation 4 all the time. It is a great device, and there's a reason that it is selling so well as PC gaming too. So, overall, it's a great time right now to be a gamer. It just is. Gamescom, like we said, by the time you guys are listening to this, it'll be happening in the next day or two, and there's going to be some great announcements there. You know, Sony's going to have their PlayStation experience at the end of the year. We got all the holiday titles that are coming out. We got all the great games that are coming out in the spring. We'll get to E3 next year, rinse and repeat, and we'll do it all over again. So that's my response.
Well said. I just think Xbox One needs to announce more exclusives, which I think Gamescom is the platform to do that, and they're golden. Because again, I mean, right now compared to Sony's lineup of first-party games, it's a no-brainer.
But see, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's my point. It doesn't matter at this stage of the game. It doesn't matter. Microsoft could have, as they're already saying in their marketing, the greatest holiday lineup in their history, which arguably that's what they're going to have this holiday, but it's not gonna matter because Sony is already so far out in front. It would take a miracle for them to catch up at this point. And Sony's done nothing to hurt their brand. And as we already know, when we get into 2016, PlayStation 4 is going to start having a lot of their own exclusive titles coming out. Hey, look, Uncharted 4 comes out next year. That's going to be big for them. You know, just as an example. And not to say Microsoft's not going to have a bunch of great games as well, but the point is they screwed up 2 years ago and they're paying the price for it. So it is what it is at this point. But as a gamer, be glad that Microsoft has cut the price of the Xbox One, that they're going to have Windows 10, they're going to have Cortana, they're going to have game streaming, they're going to have Halo 5, Forza 6, Tomb Raider, all this other great stuff. As a gamer, you're the one that benefits, and that's all that should matter. The rest of the number stuff is just fanboy nonsense.
All right.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, no, that was it. I think you closed that topic very, very well.
All right, the last one is from Adrian. He's just seen the latest news in relation to Batman Arkham Knight on PC and how we'll get an interim patch in August, but the total fix is a few months off, and how the game has been withdrawn from sale worldwide. With that being said, should Warner Brothers face some sort of penalty for selling an item that is defective? And should the fact that they knowingly sold a defective product mean they face a monetary fine of some degree? How could this have been avoided? Should we govern areas of the game industry and hit hard if a company does what Warner Brothers did? Would a hardline approach help improve the future? No more Assassin's Creed being bugged on all formats, no more Halo Master Chief Collection issues, or Battlefield 4 problems. I can only see this as a positive for the industry. Broken games are becoming the norm and in my eyes needs to be stopped.
I would say Warner Brothers is not going to get a monetary penalty. That's just simply not going to happen. But should PC gamers get some kind of compensation for this happening? Absolutely. Because again, the example, I downloaded it day one. I played it for probably about 10 minutes, and then I saw the issues with it, and I shelved it, and I refused to play this game until it's 100% fixed. And that's a shame because all the console gamers out there talking about it say it's a fantastic game. So I really want to play it, but I want to play it at the experience that I paid for versus this broken, buggy mess that it is right now. I'll just leave it at that. Pete, you want to say anything?
All right, so when you buy it, let's say they bought it digitally or they bought it from a GameStop or Best Buy or what have you, once it's been opened, you're kind of SOL. You're kind of stuck with that plastic disc. At least with Steam, you have the opportunity, if you've purchased it within, I think, what is it, the 2-hour period or something like that, or 2 hours of gameplay or 14 days within purchase, you can return it and get a full refund. Since there's not something like that for the consumer, from especially in the console side, it's kind of iffy, and I can understand it would force developers or publishers to hold back and stop release of the product until it's been vetted and it's gone through the requisite QC and QA programs. I'm kind of a hardline stickler on that. I would say yes. I think they should. And I can't say a monetary fine because I think by potentially canceling or postponing the release of a game, you're going to get hit with some kind of a monetary negative based on sales. People are like, they got pushed back, then that means the game's not going to be as good as we expected. They need to fix the game. I'm not going to spend my money on that title. Maybe I'll wait till it's on sale. So just by doing that, they're already potentially risking sales And I think that's what game publishers have been doing more recently. They're like, we'll push it out. We'll give them a patch or two and try to placate them, but let's just get their money first.
I think that's the problem, is the business side rules, with an iron fist over the creative and sometimes the common sense sides, because clearly the issue here was the lack of QA. And if, what we talked this before, is if the rumors were correct, it was because they were so afraid of spoiling the story that they did not use the traditional third-party QA companies, which I think is a huge mistake in hindsight. So I think there really needs to be a crackdown. I'd like for the industry in general to take this more seriously, but, if we want to start with Warner Brothers, that's fine, because, need to somehow make an example. And again, I don't think a monetary fine is going to bother them at all, but there needs to be more restrictions in terms of, mandatory QA process. It needs to go through at least such and such QA time, so many amount of people, this company or this company. But these are the kind of people that catch these things. But sometimes even if they catch them and they report them, the developers and the publishers don't have time to respond or react. And certainly they don't want to make themselves look by not, straight up delaying one version of the game versus the others, which is what they should have done in this opinion, because I really think it's hurt the reputation of Batman on PC, because a lot of people probably are never going to pick it up on PC because of that, and they'll wait for some, very, very cheap Steam sale in the future, which does the industry no good for anybody, because that takes away the trust factor. Pete was right. I think there's no point in buying physical retail PC games anymore, because if you get burned, like what happened with Batman, they're not going to give you your money back. Steam, at least, and other digital distribution platforms at least had the capabilities and the willingness to make up for these wrongs. But I don't think it should be reactionary. I think we need to get ahead of the problem in the game development design, take QA more seriously, especially in the PC realm where there's so many things that could go wrong. That's my 2 cents on it. I just think it's a QA issue, and they need to take, have more of these people on hand, and more importantly, listen to them, because they're the guys who catch this stuff, and you don't want this stuff being caught by the public, because again, this is what happens. PR fiasco. All right, guys, thanks for listening. That was episode 496 of Gamertag Radio. Again, shout out to Danny for the Hall of Fame award. Congrats, man. We can't listen to you gloat about it next week. We'll have a ton of Gamescom news for you guys, but again, you can check us out at gamertagradio.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. And again, if you want to leave us a cool little voicemail giving us your thoughts, you can send that voicemail to 786-273-7GTR, or send us a fan mail at fanmail@gamertagradio.com. Now, we have a couple minutes left. Destiny Talk Radio. I haven't played in a while. What's good, Paris and Pete? What have you liked so far? You got any cool new stuff recently?
Well, the weekly update just came out, and they were talking about the Dreadnought, which will be the new playable space, and how they're completely changing the way patrols is going to work. The quote that they had was that patrol will no longer be easy mode. There's going to be secrets in patrol. There's going to be loot to get, just all these different types of things that they're promising. We'll see when Taken King comes out how this truly works. But I have an unnamed source that I talk to on a semi-regular basis that straight up told me that we've basically been playing the beta of Destiny, and that the Taken King is the real game. I'll just say
that's pretty exciting. I mean, like that, I'm kind of mad, but that's such bold speak that I'm like, well, I mean, I'm already invested. And literally, they had the news that, oh yeah, your Destiny character, you're going to be using that for 10 years. So hope you like the one you made. I'm like, my God, I can't imagine where I'll be in 10 years.
Well, yeah, let me clarify what I just said. In other words, they've been listening to everything that we've been complaining about. They see what works in the game, and they see what things don't work in the game, and the Taken King is their real opportunity to fix a lot of the gripes that we've had in year one. Boss encounters, for example, is a huge one. So if you've played Skolas, that is a huge hint to the way that they plan on having boss encounters moving forward. Instead of just having pure bullet sponges, to have actual gameplay mechanics within these encounters that matter. Strikes, all of that, versus just, all right, shoot at this, stand in a corner and just shoot at this guy a whole bunch of times. That's also part of the reason why they've nerfed a lot of the weapons, because they're opening up all the weapon foundries, and they want people to actually use whatever weapons they like, whatever perks and customizations that they want to use in these encounters, versus, all right, everybody go grab Gjallarhorn. Everybody go grab Fatebringer. So when I hear these certain things off record, they get me excited to want to keep playing, because I think the long-term investment in Destiny is going to be worth it. I'll still say, Danny, if you play the Vault of Glass, that experience going through the Vault of Glass, especially the first time you go through it and all that, it's one of the best co-op gameplay experiences you will ever have. Period. I challenge anyone to tell me another experience. I have never played World of Warcraft, so I cannot
I was about
speak.
to say,
I can't speak
WoW,
on
but that's a very small amount of people.
Yeah, I can't speak on WoW because I never played because I like being married, and which this game has tested that too. But just for me, in my own gameplay experiences, it doesn't get that much better than that. And those are the type of things that they're striving to get to. So I'm excited. I'm excited for September 15th.
Well, it got me excited. I don't know if I'll be able to wait until... I'm trying to wait and relapse on Taken King Day, but I don't know if I'll make it that far because I kind of already really missed the game, guys. I got to be honest. Pete, anything you want to add?
No, I remember Paris just mentioning it earlier today, and it kind of piqued my interest. I wanted to hear it. I wanted to hear it more in detail. I figured I'd hear it on the show. So, back to the Iron Banner grind.
Iron Banner, fun times, frustrating and fun at the same time.
Let me tell you, I seriously think that Bungie has some kind of reward algorithm that comes out to something like if player equals Pete, don't give him crap. If player equals everybody but Pete, give him everything. Literally, I played, I want to say 6 games of Iron Banner leading up to us recording this evening, and at one point there was 2 games. I actually took screen captures and I have them on my phone. Everybody got a legendary gun except for me in both instances.
Yeah. That RNG is a cruel, cruel mistress. We're all very aware.
Yeah. I hate you guys, but I love you guys.
You'll get yours. Don't worry. Keep playing. But yeah, that'll do it for us. Again, shout out. Thanks for listening. We appreciate taking up an hour of your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or your night. And again, look forward to us recording next week for big Gamescom news. Danny will be back. It'll be a full-man team again. But yeah, I guess we will say bon voyage and peace.
You're listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.